Welcome to Jesus Before Money. My name's Corey. I'm happy that you're here. Well, silver hit $70 today. And as I made a video maybe 2 or 3 months ago, I said the targets on silver are $100 and $300. Well, I'm going to go over the silver chart and I'm going to explain to you how the $70 mark that we're at right now might be resistance zone. Okay? But before we do that, I'm just going to read. I tend to talk slow, so if you want, just put me in 2x mode, and I think it helps you get through the video a little bit easier, okay? So I'm in John 10, 9 is where I'm going to start. I'm going to bounce around a little bit, okay? But this is Jesus speaking. Yes, I am the gate. Those who come in through me will be saved. They will come and go freely and will find good pastures. The thief's purpose is to steal and kill and destroy. My purpose is to give them a rich and satisfying life. I am the good shepherd. I know my own sheep, and they know me, just as my Father knows me, and I know the Father. So I sacrifice my life for the sheep. I have other sheep too that are not in this sheepfold. I must bring them also. They will listen to my voice, and there will be one flock with one shepherd. The Father loves me because I sacrifice my life so I may take it back again. No one can take my life from me. I sacrifice it voluntarily, for I have the authority to lay it down when I want to and also take it up again, for this is what my Father has commanded. And then that was John 10, 14 through 18, that second part. All right, thank you, Jesus. All right, now silver. Let's get to silver. Okay, so a lot of technicians say, oh, this isn't a cup and handle, right? Well, silver, this is right here, this peak was in 1980, I think, the end of 79 to 80. So you're looking at almost a 50-year chart, right? I'll show you what the SPX looks like after 50 years, but I don't think I think you kind of need to chart silver in the logarithmic. And what I'm getting at is you see how this just isn't as tight. It's not tight. So if we throw it into the logarithmic form, look how tight, and I adjust this thing. Look how tight this now becomes for a cup and handle pattern. That looks really, really nice. And I'll explain what a cup and handle pattern is. But this is where I get my targets, okay, for $100 and then $300. And I'm going to put them on. I have a parallel here. Boom, boom. And then I have a trend line, which I think is why we're going to kind of stall out here. Okay, so now that I have all this, now you see this, okay? First of all, a lot of stuff just popped on. Let me take this off for a second. Let me just show this. Like I said, put me in 2x speed. Okay, so this, as clear as day, is a beautiful cup and then handle pattern with a breakout. Okay, I mean it's so obvious to me that yes, this is a cup and handle pattern, and it should be treated as such, right? There's some people that say it's not because it's not tight, doesn't do this, it doesn't hold a 45-degree angle here, yada yada yada, but they're just looking at it wrong. Okay, in my opinion, I'm not God to the technical analyst world. Okay, so you see here these lows lined up, this top lined up, and then when we broke out, we really hugged the top of this and then shot up. Okay, now why I think the $70 mark is going to be resistance is because now we're trying to find another parallel that this thing is trading in. Okay, for whatever reason, stocks really like these channels. And it gives you a high and a low, kind of like extremes of how it might trade, okay? So if I put on that other parallel, which I just took off, you can see that we are now running into the top of it here. Let me zoom in, okay? You can see we're now at the top of this parallel. And this parallel might be nothing, okay? Or it might be something. It might tell us that we're due for a pullback, and we are due for a pullback. I mean, look at this move, okay? In addition to this parallel, right, I have this trend line here, right? If you connect this pivot high through this high to here, not only is this parallel suggesting that this $70 mark might be resistance, but now we have this other factor. We have another trend line. Kind of X marks the spot right here around $70 that we could see a pullback. Okay? And why am I mentioning that? Is that, well, I know that there's people that probably want to buy silver. Okay? I can't really give you a good level right now. I mean, obviously, if we were to come back here to $50, that would be great. But, you know, let me see. I just have in the back of your mind that we might get a pullback. You know, if we could get back to 60, $50, you know, maybe, I don't know. That'd be a great buying opportunity. Okay. But just keep it on your mind that silver might start pulling back. Okay. And then I guess if you're holding, maybe you want to trim some off here. I'm not telling you to, but here's the bigger move, right? If we take this trend, we go from here, this bottom, okay, and we go up to here, that's about a $45 move, okay, from the bottom of your cup to the top of the cup. And now where we broke out, which in my mind, I'm going to go to this retest right here, but we really broke out here. It doesn't really matter, okay? You're right around, excuse me, when we break out up here, you're right around $40, $45. So you just add, you know, 45, it takes you about to 100. So we're going to get to about $100 on silver. Plus just look at this chart. Look how long this cup is. And then this handle. How much time? You know, 40, 50 years. Just popping up to another $100 to here should be no problem, right? Shouldn't it be a problem? Maybe it is. And then the $300 target comes from here. You connect this low to here. You drag up a parallel, right? So the high on this thing, which is up here about August of next year, of 2026, we could see $300 silver. I mean, it would be kind of crazy to think about, but it really isn't. I mean, the debts keeps going crazy all around the world, every country, just printing money, right? You know, today, I've mentioned that we're going to have higher yields. Well, look what we're doing on the 10-year. We're up and we're just chopping sideways. You know, we haven't broken out yet, but the 10-year looks like we're going higher because there's too much debt. They keep printing debt, okay? Last thing I'll talk about, I guess. I know I need to I'm just going to give you a comparison of the SPX, the S&P 500, going back to 1980. Let me put it in a monthly chart. Okay. So 1980 is here somewhere. That's 1966. Okay, where is 1980? 1980 is right here. So I'm going to put like a vertical line there for reference on 1980. Boom. That's 1980. Okay? Oh, gosh, I can't even fit it in. I know I got a lot going on. Look how vertical this has gone since 1980. Let's go back to silver. What's silver done? Just this. Just building a super big base for liftoff. Okay? So I hope people that haven't bought silver or trying to get into silver, the $70 mark provides some resistance, right? That we can pull back. Maybe we check back to, I don't know, 60. Maybe we drop $10. Maybe we see, and then, you know, the silver trade's done. I don't think so. I think this thing's going to continue, okay? And yeah, I'll leave it there. So I have been working on this. When you get a big explosive move, we'll just call this maybe like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're pushing up to 5, maybe, on the Elliott wave. I'm starting to learn Elliott wave theory, and anyway, I'm kind of thinking we're really maxed out on this. This is the 5th wave. I don't know. I need to get in here and learn more about Elliott wave, but the more I look at this chart, the more I'm just saying, you know, we are probably due for a very significant pullback. When is it going to come? I don't know, but for instance, this head and shoulders pattern is still here. Still, I mean, we're very close to making a new all-time high, but then we're just looking at a double top, right? But this pattern is still lingering. And now it's not the best. I mean, it's not the cleanest head and shoulders, but, this is potentially a topping pattern, signaling downside, okay? Who knows? Last thing to look at on the SPX is this wedge, right? And I've pointed out wedges before that usually when you break, if you don't confirm, you just kind of come back up and start a new wedge. We've had all these wedges, but anyway, I think the time's getting really close. Okay, so if the S&P 500 does pull back hard, here's 2008 right here. You could get a big sell-off in silver, right? If we get a big liquidation event in the stock market, in the global stock markets around the world, right, you could see a big liquidation event in silver as well, which silver dropped 60%. So I'm just saying that's going to be a great buying opportunity. I don't know if silver running up into this resistance here is telling us that we're going to get a nice pullback or not, but it's just something to be mindful of. And this chart is nasty. Let me end so you can actually see the chart. Okay. Let me take some of this stuff off here. Let me see. Let me take this yellow line off. Hide. Let me take this off. Hide. Okay, you might be able to see that a little bit better. You see how the parallel and this trend line meet right here today. So, are we going to get a pullback in silver? I hope so, personally, so I can buy some more. But it's interesting. And if we do get a big pullback, I would say just hold on. Not financial advice, but hold on, because I think ultimately go to 100. And then once we get through 100, you saw the top of the trend line, the top of the parallel. I think 300 is the mark. And it really doesn't look that crazy of a move, right? So with that, God bless you, and I hope you have a great 2026. And if anything happens in the stock market, I'll give updates. Thanks, bye.